Okay, so hello sports mania. So today we're going to talk about the NBA or National Basketball League Association. As we all know, we're approaching to the end of this National Basketball League regular season. Yes, we're going closer to the NBA playoffs. But we're not going to talk about the NBA playoffs, or we're not going to talk about who's gonna win the title. But we're going to talk about the awards. We're going to talk about the MVP awards. Yes. So this MVP award, this the most anticipated awards in the league. Yes, so many players have been putting so much work to win these awards, but we get the top two candidates for these awards. That's James Harden and also Giannis Antetokounmpo. So if we're talking about the MVP awards, why not we're going to talk about their stats, Giannis stats and also James Harden stats. First of all, we're going to talk about James Harden stats. Yes, this season James Harden have been so crazy. He's been scoring a lot, step backs a lot, and maybe travel a lot. But this season he's been averaging about 36 points per game, 7 assists per game, and 6 rebounds per game. He's leading the NBA in scoring. Meanwhile, Giannis is the third leader in the scoring. Yes, Giannis been having 27 points per game, 12 rebounds per game, and also 5 assists per game. Yeah, if we're talking about scoring, James Harden outscored Giannis. But if we're talking about rebounds, Giannis out-rebounded James Harden, right? But we're not only going to talk about stats if we're talking about who's gonna win the MVP. Yes, we're going to talk about his impact on his team. So if we're talking about James Harden, on December 2018, the Houston Rockets are 14th seed in the league. And now, if you see it, Houston Rockets are 3rd seed in the league. That's why James Harden have been so impactful for his team. Meanwhile, Giannis, let's see. Milwaukee Bucks is the first overall seed in the NBA. But let's talk about the overall team. In Houston Rockets, they got Chris Paul, Clint Capella, Daniel House Jr., and also PJ Tucker, who helped James Harden throughout this season. And in Milwaukee Bucks, they got Chris Middleton, Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, a very good center, and also they got Ersan Ilyasova, and they got Malcolm Brogdon. Yes, these two players, they have so many help on their team, but we're going to talk about these two players only. Yes, we're not going to talk about their teammates, we're not going to talk about their coach, we're going to talk about who's gonna win the MVP. And for me personally, I think James Harden should win the MVP. Why? We're going to see. Yes. First of all, in December 2018, James Harden, Houston Rocket is 14th seed in the league. And now Houston Rocket is 3rd seed in the league. Why? Because James Harden have been scoring so much. Yes, as we all know, James Harden have been breaking so much record this season. And the best record that he has beat this season is the 30-point plus scoring streak in the league. He's now only behind Will Chamberlain for scoring 30 plus points for more than 30 games. And if we know about NBA likes about stats so much, and we all know in 2015 NBA regular season, who win the MVP awards? Yes, Russell Westbrook. And Russell Westbrook is the first player to win the MVP award while his team is 6th seed. Yes, there have been no players that win the MVP award while their teams is out from the 3rd seed. Yes, only players in the first, in the second, and the 3rd seed team can win the MVP. But Russell Westbrook proved NBA wrong. Yeah. So for me, James Harden should win the MVP too because his impact for his team. And if we're talking about his impact on his team, his teammates, Clint Capella, are having his best season in his career. Capela is having more rebound, more points, and more assists as a Houston Rocket. That's because James Harden have motivates all of his teammates to become better. And also, if we're talking about MVP, we're not going to forget about other players' opinion. And about 44.6% NBA players voted for James Harden to win this award, to win this MVP awards. And about 36.8% of NBA players voted Giannis. So, James Harden outscored Giannis by 8%. So, if we're going to talk about who's gonna win the MVP, for me personally, I'm gonna say James Harden. Not because I'm a Houston Rockets fan, but it's because James Harden have been putting so much work to help this Rockets team go through from 14th seed to their now for the 3rd seed in the league, only behind Denver Nuggets and Golden State Warriors, of course. But today, what I'm going to say is James Harden may be a flopper, as you all know. Maybe he got traveled so much, but he's been putting so much works in his work. And also, Giannis is a good player, but I think James Harden should win the MVP because he can bring his team from 14 to the 3rd seed while scoring a lot and not missing any game at all. So, who do you guys think should win the MVP? Let me know.